Hello, welcome to our interview. We have Mr. Rifki Zamzam with us, the co-founder of the Qatari HR Forum. And today we're going to be discussing the topic of the use of AI or the integration of the generative AI in the learning and development functions of HR. So before I start, I'd like to ask Mr. Rifki to describe your current role, please, your experience with the L&D, and without specifying the organization, just like the sector that you work with.
My role actually is administrating learning and development, preparing the strategy for it. But as a whole, I work on something called organization development, which plans L&D programs based on the company strategy versus the inventory of people.
Right. And what sector are you working with?
Consulting sector.
You deal with different sizes of organizations or with a specific organization only?
We deal with different sizes of organization. Because of the association that we have, there are multiple types of organizations across multiple industries. So then when we work on L&D projects, we have to figure out which one suits them better, which one they can work with, and which one is more practical for them.
Okay, I see. From your experience with the L&D and all that, when did the AI started coming into the picture? How long back?
It started coming into the picture as early as it came into the picture in 2020, but we started getting a full-on understanding. We started getting requirements based on AI from around 2023.
Okay, so organizations started approaching you and requesting for trainings relevant to AI for the last couple of years.
AI-based trainings, yes, there are a few requirements. We started having sample programs through a partner in the UK, just introducing them as to how AI influences HR strategy, AI influences the HR knowledge base. So we had sessions just to give people an intro, because a lot of people thought AI was ChatGPT and it's limited to ChatGPT, but there's more to it.
So I'm going to focus a little bit on your side, or the learning and development design and delivery side of AI. How much do you use or your team uses AI in the delivery and design of the learning training?
For us, AI is actually, it's a tool of refinement. We don't use it as a tool of creation, because when we start working on a client, based on what the objectives are, we write a course outline, and then we prepare what we have to prepare, like material, models and all that. And then we get AI to refine it. Because when you get AI to create something, AI creates something in general and may not be that specific. So we use it as a polishing tool and for research and references.
What parts of the development process do you use them? Like when you say refinement, can you give me examples of specific programs maybe, or how the process is affected?
So any L&D program that we use is tailor-made, is actually bespoke. The objectives match the outcome. The client signs off, and then we write up something called a course outline, which is the syllabus. So the content for the syllabus is made theory, practical, can use to apply. Then we start developing, using AI to assessments based on the objectives. And then we go into refining the material, like creating animations, what to do on Kahoot, design to engage people better, kind of quizzes that we can do, something that will AI will match to the current culture, the new generation of thinking, and something industry specific. Like, for example, if you have a client from fintech, we want a customer care program for fintech, but then if we have to fine tune it to fintech, build the case studies, we use AI for that. But then the content for that case study comes from us.
Okay. And with your team, have you trained your team on the uses of generative AI or the different tools that are available, or you're leaving it to their own exploration and what they're comfortable with using?
At the initial stages, we did the introduction to AI. So we did it across the forum, to be very honest, giving them the introduction. And then wherever they wanted to learn, yes, they can use AI. We did provide some level of training on how to use AI tools like Copilot, AI tools like ChatGPT. We stuck to Copilot later on. Because the generative AI, how it works is the more you use, the more it learns as to how you behave, and it starts customizing based on that. So we made sure that, just to make sure people learn, people are accountable for their content, we set guidelines as to how you can use generative AI. We don't want the client to see something that is purely AI. We want the client to see what we do.
Yes. There's a lot of ethical requirements or inquiries about the uses of AI, and many companies are trying to set up certain guidelines. So it's good to have that you have started with that in terms of how much of the content should be created through AI and the human touch in it and all that. Do you have guidelines with the ethical and legal guidelines, particularly with the uses of AI? Like they can put the client's names, the confidentiality.
Yes, we do. We do have some very basic guidelines. We have a code of ethics policy, and we also have one rule, that is accountability. That is very important. Like I said earlier, objectives, course outlines come from us, and then we use AI as a refinement tool, and we keep it strictly to that. So anybody who creates material, anybody who uses the advanced version of Microsoft 365, where PowerPoints are refined by AI, we make sure that the content is by us, but then AI, does the touch-ups, does the refinements, does the referencing. So, and we have to disclose what we used AI for. That's also that, as a consultant, that becomes a selling point. You get what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't become purely, this is consultant knowledge, where people will have the impression, look, we gave something to Rifki, and it becomes purely, what they can create within their framework. But then when you start disclosing we used AI in these blocks, then they become interested. Then they try to tell us, okay, so you used AI to advance this, to reference this. He said, yes, of course.
So in terms of it gives you more accountability, you think,
yes.
Like when you maintain the use of AI to a certain percentage, and when you report how much of AI was used into this product, right?
Yes, we have to. That becomes a very good selling point, to be very honest,
Really?
Yeah, because the people know that the content comes from you, and it's not something that they can Google. Because the moment you tell a client, or client figures out that this whole thing is AI, they won't be needing us.
No, they can do it on their own, right?
Exactly. So when we disclose what and what we use the AI for, then we tell them, look, this is what we use it for. You know more, that will be a separate proposal.
Yeah. Excellent. One more question about part. You mentioned Copilot, particularly that you're leaning towards sort of. Can you justify why particularly? What makes this special one?
Copilot is a paid program. I mean, you do have the free version, but once you procure a Microsoft license, you have the option of a premium one. And it's integrated into Microsoft when you use it on PowerPoint, on Word, on Excel. We want to summarize the paragraph, make it a little bit more refined. Because for me, when I try to detail something on a report, I tend to write a lot. No one wants to read a lot. We use Copilot to make it more, little bit more professional, make it bite-sized, make it where people can understand, make it more inviting.
How are learners and facilitators, so from your point of view and your team point of view, and the learners, the people who you are facilitating to, when you deliver a workshop or when you deliver something with an AI aspect, how are people responding to that? Are they receptive, resisting? How are they, accepting it?
Well, that question comes into play when we use e-learning systems where AI is part of it, because what generative AI does for e-learning systems is it adapts to the learner's pace, the learner's understanding, where learners can choose to refine the question. But what we tell our learners is we show them the way towards AI, what to use AI for, so that they maintain their level of competence, their level of thinking, called the intelligence of the human being. Whole idea of training a fellow human being is to make sure that they become much better than what they were when they came to you. So we show them use it for research and fine-tuning, making it more easier. Like referencing, like for example, if I'm to give you a definition, it cannot be Rifki's definition of AI. It has to be a definition from Michigan State University or Yale or Harvard, something that has a higher reputation, that has trademark in it. We use AI just to find out where these best definitions are from.
Yes, definitely. I agree. So And when you do that, when you are explaining this to your trainees, do you find that people generally in this region are receptive of learning about that and wanting to apply it and use it? Are they enthusiastic about it, or are they more on the resistance side?
It's a very interesting question, because like if you take the new gen, they're quite adaptive to it. I mean, they know more about AI before we even speak about it, because they use it for a lot of things. Some of it is highly questionable, as like, project assignments. They use AI for that, and then they adjust the words so that it doesn't look too obvious. They're pretty smart, actually. They have deliberate mistakes.
They know how to change it so it doesn't show as an AI generated text. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So because most unis they use a system called Turnitin. When you submit a project, so it goes in the university website. Turnitin vets it. It's like a plagiarism program. You have the slightly older generation, like the millennials and the ones before that. They have some resistance towards AI because they feel that AI can take over some of the jobs that they do. But then AI is going to be there forever. That we have to accept. You can use AI to get rid of all your mundane tasks, report creation, summarization. You can upload a PDF, get a summary out of it, and then use that for a presentation. Use it for that. But when you have fear towards AI, you don't succumb to it. You need to learn it. You need to figure out what this is, get over that fear, and use it as much as you can. So that's the resistance part with the slightly older generation.
Okay, I see. Have you changed the way you measure learning success or program effectiveness since generative AI has been integrated to affect that aspect?
Yes. Like, for example, when we create programs, we create the assessments, the post-learning assessment based on the objectives once the client signs off. So what AI does, it helps us do it a lot faster. So we upload the objectives and we say we want multiple choice, we want essay type, we want paragraph type. Applicability. Give us a subject of this particular client base, and these are the participants. How can they apply? What should they do to apply? So this types out for us. Okay. And then we start refining it again. That gives us how much they have absorbed during the classroom. To see the true effect, you need to do a pre-course assessment, where the client tells us, based on a score, this is how much they have. And we want them to change and go beyond this.
Okay, so assess the before and after.
Yeah, but mostly for us, we make sure that we do the post-course assessment just to see how much they have observed.
Okay. So I'm gonna move to the strategic part, and I'm pretty sure that with your expertise, you are familiar with that. What is the biggest challenge or barrier in adopting generative AI in HR or in L&D in the organizations from your perspective? Is it budget? Is it the technological readiness, the skills, or the policies? What would be the barrier from your perspective?
I think the first thing will be the budget. Having a full-on AI to automate a lot of things, like bringing in chatbots to automate processes for AI to grab reports, do forecasting, and then give us a status update. That is not cheap at all.
Yeah.
So budget will be the biggest barrier. Second thing is the change management. So you need to do an organization design as to which jobs need to be merged together, because AI is going to take over the mundane jobs. One of the examples that we use to overcome fear of people and part of the change management is we always talk to them about Siri, how easy it is to Siri to book a flight for you or to send a message. So we use that as a tool to overcome fear, but then Siri doesn't take over your job, but Siri actually makes the life of a personal assistant a lot more easier.
Yeah, I see. Are the people bringing the conversations are becoming there, and every forum that's coming up, every conference, every seminar, every event that's taking place, AI has a bit of it, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of that and exposed to this. Do you think that who in the stakeholders are more pushing towards introducing AI in companies? Business leaders, the employees themselves, the IT departments, the governments, the accrediting body. Which of these, from your experience, are the ones pushing forward towards integrating AI or pushing towards that process to be initiated and worked out?
Business leaders, and department heads both.
Okay.
Because one of the examples was businesses who are into sales and business development. They want their questions answered. They want clients taken care of, clients responded to, requirements grouped and shortlisted, complaints shortlisted. So instead of hiring people, they would rather invest in AI and save on the budget, and have these questions auto-generated, a chatbot handling all of this as much as they can, and then escalation to them.
Okay. So they are the ones who are seeing the value and pushing more towards. Very, very insightful. Moving forward to the vision, the future role of AI. How do you envision the future L&D in your organization or with the organizations that you deal with in the next 2 years? I think we cannot say anymore in the next 5 years. 5 years is so far. So in the next couple of years, how do you see it in the picture? How do you see generative AI in the picture?
The LMS systems, they are bringing in AI. There is one very, very advanced ERP solutions company. It's got a fantastic AI system. It captures the entire ERP, not just LMS, into it. And then there are a few other LMS systems which are used around the world where they gather data of all their participants, their IDPs, their MDPs, and their LDPs, whatever they do across for scale-ups. They capture and they say this person is performing on this person is performing on that. So that AI helps a lot in summarizing a lot of information and also giving us a forecast as to what this will look like.
And has the rise of AI changed the role of learning and development, or the role of professionals in that field? Do you think that it has taken away from them or added to them? How do you see it?
It has taken away a lot of headache. I've actually made some notes here. What exactly it has taken away. You see, when we prepare material, you shouldn't create it out of thin air. It has to be based on something so that it has weight to it. Because these are research and development concepts which we integrate into our training. So it gives us references as to who uses it, the examples of it. This has worked in this company, in this particular country, in this particular model. So we can do that within hours. We don't have to spend an entire weekend, burn the night oil just to find this information. It also helps us create animations, because in any program, there's something called blended learning. I learned by physically doing it. Some, you may learn by reading it. Some people learn by listening. Some people learn by having a physical person explain it. So this is the blended learning. So what AI does is AI brings it together. It marries the whole thing. It allows us to add and subtract if you want to move a traditional program into an e-learning system. What to bring in, when to bring in, all those things.
Right. Again, we want to discuss a bit of your idea or reflection of the whole AI introduction or integration. What's your greatest worry and your greatest hope about the impact of generative AI in the workplace?
Well, my biggest worry is the standard of ethics, because when we look at social media like TikTok and Instagram, you do see the label that some of the content is AI generated. People learn a lot from TikTok, they learn a lot from Instagram, because there are research, mini experiments that people pick up from. The most recent disturbing thing that happened was you had to end up convincing someone of something that is not real at a training program. We tend to agree to disagree, and that's how we let it go. That's the worrying part, because some people actually believe AI. What I'm looking forward to, or rather the blessing in the whole AI thing, is we need to learn it, we need to adapt it. The less we fear and the more we admire it, we figure out how to use it better. It creates something very short. Like one of the most recent programs I had was for an organization in Indonesia where they help youngsters get jobs. So I included as to how they can use AI to prepare a shorter CV rather than a 5-page long CV. Nobody likes 5-page CVs, a maximum 2 pages or 3 pages if you're a very senior person.
So makes it more concise and all that.
Yeah, and exactly what to put. It helps them manage communications.
I just remembered something. You mentioned that you use and your team, Copilot and others, to get some references of real legit facts or stories that you can integrate in your trainings. Do you ask your team to verify those or how accurate those information? Because we've heard instances where those AI tools may create things just to satisfy the scenario you're trying to make.
Yeah, I'll give you something a little bit different. Now, a friend of mine, she created a ChatGPT version of the Qatar labor law. Few of us tested it, so we ended up verifying this article has this one has this, how to navigate. So you can program it to work within a framework. So like what you very rightly said, AI does sometimes fabricate it, make things different because you asked for it. Some of it is difficult for us to see if it's real or not. So when we look at all the options that AI gives us, we try to put in a prompt there saying, give us legit references.
Okay.
Like, for example, when I wanted the actual definition of a CV and a resume, it gave some references, and I had to physically go and check in that particular university's website whether these definitions is what that university mentions.
Okay.
That's just an example.
So you are aware of that, and you consider that as you
develop. Yeah, we do, but we are also quite prepared. Let's say, for example, I give you a proposal, I give you a program, and in case you turn around and ask, where did this come from? Did you check it? So we are prepared for that. So we always choose the ones that we have verified, and we only put the content that we have verified. And if somebody wants more, we give them a full disclosure. Look, this is what we found out from Copilot, but we have not verified this. But please, make your own judgment, learn from it, do your own research.
So there's a lot of transparency there with your clients.
Yeah, we have to, because we are in the job of developing people, and you can't develop them the wrong way. You can't set them up for failure. So if I'm teaching you something, it has to be legit, motivate you, will make you really happy, and then you go off, and then 2 weeks down the line you realize, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense.
Looking back, what are the most important lessons you've learned so far about integrating generative AI in learning?
Well, the most important lesson is it makes my life very, very easy, especially all these Excel sheets. If there are lengthy report proposals from other partners, tender documents, we use AI to summarize and prepare a checklist. Makes my life a lot easier. But then triggers in your brain saying, why not you read the whole document again, and not just go by what AI says, to make sure that I have all the checks and balances and that AI has not missed. Sometimes if the connection is not good, AI doesn't work.
Well, I was asking about the important lesson, and you said that it makes your life easier, and then I think that's a valid lesson. What one piece of advice would you offer to a fellow learning and development leader in the MENA region, just starting their journey in adopting AI or integrating AI in their job?
Go ahead. Look for systems that provide very good AI tools, because that is the future. People want learning to be made easy at their own pace. You can transfer some of the mundane training programs, or selling techniques, or finance for non-finance, or health and safety awareness, fire safety awareness programs. People can learn this using AI, so that people will pick up.
Okay. So it helps you diversify the modes or the types of teaching or learning that people are getting. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us that we haven't discussed about AI and L&D in general?
I think it's important to evolve with it, because change itself is something that we have to do every day. The more we learn, the better we become. Learn to use very, very simple AI, and use AI to see how it can continue. Use AI to see what's out there in the market. One of the things that organizations do not do, or rather tend to forget, is when they implement AI, they need to calculate the human factor in it. So if we use AI, what are the jobs that are going in? And if these are the jobs that we need to cut down on, how can we identify the skilled people and train them and to do something better? So you become streamlined and efficient, you become cost optimized rather than cut costs, so you can use AI for that.
That's very insightful, actually, because it switches AI from the ultimate goal of cutting jobs to making more out of the people that we have in the organizations. I guess, right? Thank you so much. That was it. It was very insightful. I really enjoyed everything that you shared with us. It was very valuable knowledge, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's going to be watching this video will also benefit a lot from it. Thank you, Mr. Rifki, for your time and for the insights that you've shared with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. To be honest, I'm very honored that you chose me out of so many experts. It's great to contribute. Feel free to reach out if there's anything I can do.
Thank you.
Thank you, and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome.